Welcome to the 1334 podcast, where passion meets purpose in the nonprofit world. I'm your host, Blake Barlow, and each week we dive deep into the stories that shape and drive nonprofits, exploring their why and the impact they make. Today's episode features an inspiring conversation with Demetria Redding, a passionate advocate for community service and patient advocacy. Join us as we explore Demetria's journey, her dedication to the fight against cancer, and how she's making a significant impact in her community. Stay tuned for an enlightening and motivating discussion. Demetria, can you give our listeners an overview of what Relay for Life is and its significance in the fight against cancer?
Of course. Well, Relay for Life is the American Cancer Society's signature fundraising event. It started out back in 1985. Dr. Gordy Klatt, which was an oncology surgeon, decided he wanted to raise some money. So his way to do that was to do a 24-hour walk around a track where he was the sole participant. It got a lot of traction. A lot of people came to support him, cheer him on, and they were motivated, inspired by it. So it's almost at its 40th year of doing this. It's now a global movement where people from all walks of life, from different states, different countries, are joining in the fight against cancer. Relay for Life is unique in that it does not limit to one particular cancer. You know, we at the American Cancer Society have Real Men Wear Pink, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. So those initiatives are designed specifically for breast cancer. But whether it's colorectal cancer, it's pancreatic, it's breast cancer, it's ovarian, Relay for Life raises funds and supports and acknowledges those people impacted by all types of cancer.
It started as a 24-hour walk. Is it still a 24-hour walk? Is it one here in Albany? Is it a 24-hour
So
event?
locally, our event is not a 24-hour event. And truth be told, post-COVID, most relays aren't 24-hour events. So the how we relay may look different, but the why remains the same. People from all over in our community come together to do their part in the fight against cancer. We try to make sure, we as in the event leadership team, try to do what's necessary to make our local event reflect whatever it is our community is wanting. So it changes from the themes. Like last year, our theme was, we've done superheroes, we've done Game On for a Cure, and this year we're going to do Under the Big Top. So I just had to confirm that that's what we're going to be doing. But every year it's different, you know. So the time frame will traditionally be about 4 to 6 hours. It takes place roughly about 6 in the evening because we want to make sure by the time we do the survivor lap, the sun will have gone down. And that's one of the signature parts of Relay, having that survivor lap where we light the bags, the tea light candles in the bags, and do the luminaries. So it's definitely a moving part and a very key component of every relay. So no matter where you go, there are going to be consistencies, but specific to our local relay, we just try to make sure it's reflective upon whatever the community wants.
How long have you been involved with this?
So I started out back in 2019 as a staff partner. As a result of COVID, the community development manager positions were dissolved. So then I just met some amazing people, and I told them my commitment to working with Relay for Life wasn't going to be contingent upon me working as a staff partner. So now I serve on the event leadership team with some amazing people: Heather O'Connor, Kathy Shoemaker, Chip Kelly, Veronica Freeman. So
yeah,
yes.
So over that 5 years, what have you seen change?
Well, when I first started in 2019, that was, like I said, pre-COVID. I mean, people were meeting face to face. You know, we had a lot of engagement online, had a lot of interaction face to face. But I believe COVID had a huge impact on the participation, which is where we're trying to hit the reset button and just let people know, you know, we know people are still being diagnosed with cancer every single day.
Yeah.
People are being impacted by it. So regardless of the weather, you know, regardless of what time of day it is or the direction the wind blows, the people who have cancer or caregivers are in need of support.
Yeah,
so we're just
absolutely.
trying to reactivate and let people know we're still here. We're still putting the event on. So slowly but surely, we're picking back up and getting more participation. I will say the year over year, these past 2 years, we've seen a significant amount of growth in sponsors and participation with the actual survivor dinner where they come. in March to have a dinner that's given by First Baptist Church. We've seen more attendees at the actual event. So it's coming back to what it was before, and we hope year over year we'll see growth, see more support, see people coming out walking on behalf of those who've been impacted by cancer.
This episode is proudly sponsored by TMG Market Group, Localist Coffee, and the Harms family. The Harms family proudly sponsored this podcast and wanted to let other families know that you don't have to be a large business in order to sponsor something that you believe in.
To go back, I will say just having conversations with people to get them to understand exactly what Relay for Life is and why they should choose Relay for Life. One of the biggest questions we've been asked, and I'm sure Heather can attest to this, is where the funds are going. Hey, I gave $5. Where is it going? I want to see the impact that it has. And I understand that wholeheartedly. I remember as a young child, and this is one of the stories, I'll keep it short, long. But I used to always see these commercials with people asking for help with animals or feeding those in need, the hungry. And I would say, are they really using that money for those people? I want to personally go and give that money to those people. One of the stories when we ask people why do they relay, it's a question of what's your personal connection to Relay for Life. So my story that I've shared with Heather and the other volunteers when I'm talking to those in the community is when I went to my onboarding, when I was at headquarters in Atlanta for the American Cancer Society. I was fortunate enough to meet researchers. I've met contributors, top donors who've given to Relay for Life, given to Making Strides, giving to Real Men Wear Pink, and given to the American Cancer Society as a whole. And that was huge to me. It was literally like I was behind the scenes of, a movie. And I was like, wow, this is how it all happens. This is truly hearing firsthand from these people. And I know. But the biggest thing that really brought me closer to why I should be involved with Relay for Life is when I went to the Hope Lodge. That's in Decatur, Georgia. Had no idea what Hope Lodge was working with the American Cancer Society. It is a home away from home. It's an opportunity for cancer patients and a loved one to go and stay for about 6 weeks, and it's paid for completely through funds raised from the American Cancer Society. We cooked dinner for them. The theme that night was Mexican. So we're in the kitchen, we toured the facility. It was beautiful. I mean, it was literally a hotel, and then you had a commercial kitchen where we're cooking. And after dinner, we had the opportunity to introduce ourselves, and they just said, thank the people who came for the American Cancer Society, the new people, and just say, give a little introduction of yourself. So we had people from all over, Naples, Florida, Washington State. I think we had some from Jersey, about 15 of us in the dining hall. And I get up, I'm just old Demetria Redding from Albany, Georgia, and sorry. When I spoke and I said where I was from, to me, I was in a room full of strangers. We had the opportunity to hear their stories and how they ended up at Hope Lodge. And I'm standing up to say, and as soon as I said I was from Albany, Georgia, I could hear people cheering. For the sake of, just privacy and not sharing, respecting their privacy, there were a couple people that were from Southwest Georgia. And I knew what it meant for me to be in that room and hearing their stories, but I had no idea that I was going to impact them because they were in a home away from home. But to hear that there was someone from Little Albany, Georgia, whether they were from surrounding counties, they were able to identify with somebody in that room, and that somebody wasn't a fellow cancer survivor or cancer patient, that somebody was coming to be a part of this bigger movement, this bigger organization. And it touched me. And I was able to take away not just, I understand what the American Cancer Society does. I know the different programs. I was able to take away something that a lot of people in that room weren't. I was able to say, I know for a fact that there are people right here in our community that are benefiting from the money that's raised through the American Cancer Society. And I tell that story, and I try to tell it without tearing up, and I'm sorry I had to do that for you, but it's real to me. You know what I mean? Like, I can hope that the money that I give to a foundation to help the animals goes to help those animals or goes to feed those hungry. But I know what the American Cancer Society means. And I shared that video with you. I sent you that 1 minute and some second clip that was on YouTube, and it's called The Whole, and it's facing cancer, and it's the woman's story about what the American Cancer Society means to her. You know, she compares her journey with being in a hole, and a millionaire comes by and he offers her money, and she asks him, you know, don't you see I'm in this hole? I'll take your money, but thank you very much. A minister comes by, you know, says, I'll pray for you. She says, thank you very much. Thank you for the prayers, but she's still in the hole. The third person comes by and she asks them, like, what are you doing? You're climbing down in this hole with me. And they said, I understand the journey. I've been there. American Cancer Society literally gets in the hole with you. They walk you through their journey. If you need a ride to and from your treatments, if you need a support group that can truly relate and understand what you're going through, they connect you with that. If it's 3 a.m. and you're having pains, unidentifiable pains, unrecognizable, you don't know what to do, you can call the 24-hour helpline, and they'll connect you with somebody that can help you. You know, and that's what I share when I tell people, you know, well, they ask the question, why Relay for Life? Why the American Cancer Society? I can tell them, I know there's so many amazing organizations out there that are committed to helping those that are in need with their cancer journey. But I can attest to what the American Cancer Society does, and specifically what Relay for Life does for our community. I'm a native of Albany, born and raised here. I believe in our community, and I believe in the American Cancer Society.
So what initially drove you to this line of work?
A story I probably haven't told too many people, but eons ago, when my grandmother was still living, she had a short battle with cancer, and I went to therapy with her. I was waiting in the waiting room, and there was a woman. I can't even tell you her name to this day, but I remember what she said. She just told me I had a calling. She could feel that over me. Unfortunately, she thought my calling was to be a bereavement counselor, and I was like, no, I can't do that. You saw how easily I just cried. I can't do that, but I've always wanted to help. You know, my older sister, Deborah, always refers to our life as a dash. You know, you've got the starting of the dash, you got the finish of the dash, but what happens in the middle? Whether my time is going to be for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, I want to make an impression. I want to do as much as I can in that dash and make it meaningful. So whether I'm being an advocate to talk about anti-bullying or helping, you know, provide umbrellas for people sitting on the bus stop in the rain, you know what I mean? Just, I want to do something. I want to make it meaningful because I feel like we all have a purpose.
Yeah.
And I've always felt that. And I was introduced, and I have to say this, I would not say introduced. I was encouraged to step out and do something beyond myself when I met Charles Goodrow when I worked at the Albany Herald. He came in to do an ad for the Salvation Army for the Toys for Tots. And he just started telling me everything about what he does, why he was on the advisory board for the Salvation Army. So I was like, dude, how can I get on? You know, he was like, well, young lady, I can get you on our advisory board. I can get you on it. You can go out and help the community. You know, you can do the most good with the Salvation Army. And from there, that just opened up my eyes to see I can go to work. I can still be a mother, but I can still give my time.
Yeah.
And I can volunteer and do beyond just the traditional, which is why we have some amazing volunteers like Heather. You know, we've had Melissa Allman, we've had Kathy Shoemaker, you got Chip Kelly. These are all people who have other obligations, but they still find the time to do something beyond just, you know, because that's what their heart says to do and that they're passionate about it.
Do you think somebody taught you that, or is that like innate? Like you want to go and take your quote unquote free time that most people are using to sit around and watch TV or do something, you know, unproductive, and you want to use it to go help people that need it? It's
always been encouraged. You know, my mom has always encouraged me to do more than just be. My grandmother has always encouraged her grandchildren to do more than that. I think sometimes, though, there's a little twinkle in us that You know, I always compare it to, we can all watch the same movie, but we can have something different to take away from it. So our perception on whatever it is that we see can be totally different. So our takeaway is different. So it's in us, but it's, do you have something or someone that kind of just gives you that nudge? And that's why Heather and I have been going out and trying to talk to people to let them know volunteering looks different. You know, you don't have to commit, you know, a full 6 months. You can volunteer for a day. You know, you can do a lot of good in a short period of time. You can have a lasting impression or a lasting impact. And I think that's the misconception too. We want to get through and communicate for a lot of people who are like, oh man, I really want to help, but I can't commit. Demetria or Heather, I've got this going on. You know, can I come the day of? Absolutely. Come help us the day of the event.
Yeah.
You know, you want to go and I'll tell you this, you can share a post on Facebook.
Yeah,
you know, you can spread the word about the survivor dinner, you know, or helping with the Relay for Life and the American Cancer Society. You can just lend an encouraging word to someone. You can pass on the 800 number. You know, you can pass the flyer and tell them this is who you contact.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, volunteering looks so different to so many people, and we welcome it all.
Yeah. I had someone close to me just go through, you know, they were diagnosed and they went through, this is what all the doctors are saying, and we pray and we pray and we pray, and then, okay, we can get it removed, and now I'm starting chemo, and I wish I knew about these resources at that time, because, you know, I didn't tell them this, but I was sitting up, you know, I was like Googling, well, is there something I can do? Is there some kind of, can I recommend, like, is there a supplement? Like, is there something that I can do and recommend or get them, you know? I wish even that phone number, like, that's so easy. I wish I could have just been like, hey, here's this phone number. If you need help, call them. That's amazing. I wish I knew. And
that's the thing, and that we've heard as well, whether it be the event, the actual Relay for Life event, or the Survivor Dinner, it's after the fact. You'll have a lot of people come and say, I wish I would have known about that.
Yeah.
And that's our goal. And we're so fortunate to have you, Blake, to extend the opportunity for us to be able to share, so people will know that there's a support system out there, there's resources out there. And if nothing else, and I have to say this, we don't want anyone to feel alone. You know what I mean? There are groups out there, there's resources out there, so no matter what, you're not alone. That's the whole goal. Just to communicate, there's so much support out there. And the questions that you were asking, are there alternative methods that could have been explored? Are there other options? We don't know, but we can connect you with those people.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the end all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know everything, but I can at least redirect you and give you someone that can provide you with those answers. So that's the thing. We don't ever want it to come to a point where people feel, oh man, you know, my back is against the wall, I'm alone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole community of people from Tipton, Sylvester, Valdosta, Americas, you name it, who have experienced what your friend, your family member has experienced, that what our church members, our co-workers. So we just want to be able to connect people so they don't have to go through this journey by themselves.
Yeah. So this event, the Relay for Life event, when you're hosting it and all these people are showing up, is all that money staying here in Albany that you raise at the event? No.
So it doesn't stay in Albany. We actually have it goes directly to headquarters, where they determine the need based on the surveys that we complete, which is why I always encourage people, you know, register. Yeah. Tell them exactly what's going on. And that's why I was saying we want the relays to be indicative of our community.
Yeah.
So, and reflect upon what the needs are. We have Kathy Shoemaker, who is, what's Kathy's title there? I know she's like with the oncology department at Phoebe. So she literally is like our boots on the ground with the local hospital. And she tells us exactly how those funds are getting allocated.
Oh,
so
cool.
Every single dollar that's raised in this area does not go to the area, but we're able to tell you how those funds are broken apart.
I guess it's kind of a good thing, because if you raise, you know, $100, you know, obviously it's going to be more, but let's say you raise $100, Albany needs more than that.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of good that it's going to headquarters and that it's getting allocated where it's going to matter the most. That's cool.
And she shared some information with us, saying that the American Cancer Society travel grant was awarded to the oncology service line to provide transportation assistance to patients in getting to their treatments, even breaking down the number. She said 211 patients were served, consisting of about 1,330 trips. The American Cancer Society's lodging grant provided funding for active treatment patients to be housed at Mary Acres Inn when the Lighthouse was at full capacity. And the Lighthouse is it's a smaller version of like the Hope Lodge, where it's the home away from home, but is it physically on Phoebe's?
It's on Phoebe's
It's
campus.
also, so the Lighthouse is on Phoebe's campus,
Cool.
and that's a location for patients to come and stay while they get their treatments.
I didn't know we had that.
Yeah,
That's
the
awesome.
thing. Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah. So the American Cancer Society's lodging grant included supplemental assistance in 2023 with patients' necessities such as their meals and toiletry items. Served 49 patients that were in need. So that's pretty huge. So although the funds, every single dollar
Yeah.
isn't staying here, we're able to.
That's a huge impact, though.
Yeah, it has an impact locally for sure.
That's awesome. So with this event coming up, are you in need of anything? Do you need more volunteers? Do you need, is there anything that you're really needing at this moment?
Absolutely. So I actually just did a Facebook acknowledgement for one of the newest teams that registered, Team Kick Hodgkin's Lymphoma. So we are every day, we're just trying to encourage people to register. And registering as a team doesn't mean you're going to be out and tasked with walking. It just means you register, you can acknowledge yourself as a cancer survivor, and then you get a shirt in the mail. It's an opportunity for you to fundraise. So if you want to go and say, hey, I'm going to be out representing my family member who was impacted by cancer, this is how you can show your support. And then you can share the link and people can just kind of cheer you on and
Cool.
give monetary support. But we're in need of volunteers to support us with setting up, doing posts on Facebook, just to spread the word. As I said, one of the biggest things is serving as an advocate and an ambassador, and serving as our just our megaphone. So just share and share. And that's really huge. It's a small gesture, but we're looking for teams. We're looking for sponsors, community partners. One of the biggest things I would think too, and that's something that we really don't, kind of promote, but we would love to have community partners, like in-kind sponsors, where they're able to donate a tent for the survivor tent. During
cool.
the event, we have a tent, we have tables, we have water that's donated by the local Sam's, but we come out of pocket. And it's totally fine, but we actually purchase, as volunteers, we purchase pretty much everything that goes with that survivor tent. So if there's anything that anyone would want to donate to make the event a success, we definitely would welcome that, and we would in turn give you an in-kind sponsorship where you get acknowledgement on our website, a track sign on the event site, on the Facebook page, any other acknowledgments, definitely for sure.
Do you have any community sponsors right now? Any businesses or churches or anyone?
Yes, so we have First Baptist. I get excited talking about them. First Baptist Church over in Leesburg on Oakland is amazing. Hands down, they do a phenomenal job. They do everything. They set up our survivor dinner. They provide the food. They provide the venue. They provide that physical service where their staff is there. The pastor comes out and he does the prayer. It's just amazing. Beyond that, we've got Oxford Construction, Concrete Enterprise, and they work with one of our behind the scenes volunteers, which is Chip Kelly. He's retired from the city, but he coordinates with them to get the sand, to get the lights, to get the portable toilets for the actual event. Blackbeards for the past couple of years, which has been amazing, at doing our kickoff dinner, and they literally provide the food, and we invite teams that are already registered, and then we encourage people who are interested in participating to come out, and Blackbeard's provides everything.
Wow.
So Albany State, they allow us to use their site. They've been doing that for the past several years, so we truly appreciate them. We've got Phoebe, of course, has been huge. They've been our presenting sponsor for the past several years, and
Wow.
we absolutely appreciate them. So Phoebe Putney, Dr. Tongle, Rock 104.5. We've got Jackson Riley out there, Kay Evans. They've been super, super huge at helping us get the word out, doing promos and allowing us to talk about the need and just getting the word out. So,
Yeah.
and I hope I'm not missing anybody, but there'll be opportunities to revisit that.
That's cool. Because like Farmer Fredo was talking about how some of his churches they're out doing the hands-on helping with, the garden and stuff. And it's cool to see that these local businesses are out like actually doing something amazing. Because I didn't know, I found out about this event like a year ago or 2 years ago. And then I had no idea that all these businesses are so involved in it. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is. And I was going to say, we don't want to take away from the team part of it, but we have to say there are organizations like fraternities and sororities that have been truly committed to making sure they are a part of it. And one of them is our amazing team, Molly Brown. She raises thousands of dollars, her sorority, Pink Perfect Ivy Strong. So we truly appreciate her. So they function as a team, but they operate as a larger entity. So it's a sorority or fraternity or a civic group. So there's a lot of them out there that have done it in the past, and we really love to get them back on board. Like I said, post-COVID, we're moving slowly, but if we can get some of those banks that used to be involved, some of those schools that used to be involved, make it competitive, have a good time. We've got a lot of fun ways to help you guys get involved and stay engaged. So we definitely would love to have those teams back on board.
So for people that have been listening that are very interested in this event, when is it and how can they start getting involved?
All right. Well, the event is scheduled for Friday, April 19th. We're going to do a kickoff at 6 p.m. And it's going to run through 10 p.m. This is going to be at Albany State University's West Campus, which is over on Gillionville. If anybody wants to get involved, start off by visiting our website at relayforlife.org/Doherty Lee GA, and that's for Doherty and Lee County of Georgia. Myself and Heather, we post updates on our Facebook page, which is Relay for Life of Doherty and Lee County. So I'm going to post some updates on there. So stay tuned there, where we'll be able to tell you about the Survivor Dinner, about the kickoff. You can send messages to us if you have any inquiries as far as with, if you have any difficulty registering on the website, we'll walk you through it. We just want to make it as easy as possible. So it's going to be a great event, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Thanks for taking the time to come sit down with me and tell me a little bit about your story and what you're doing here in Albany.
All right. Thank you so much, Blake. We truly appreciate you.